Hello there. This is Master Joe. Um, I'm playing my main account right now, and I'm just gonna grind for Growliths. I'm gonna talk to this cool dude right here. This guy is a giant cactus, AGC, Cacman. He, I think I would have to say he's my most favorite staff member. I see him more playing the game than a lot of the other staff members, and we talk a lot. So. What's going on? So, I, even though I'm just gonna run through a lot of wild Pokemon, just looking for Growlithe, I'm gonna record it just in case I encounter it, and then you get to see how epic it is. I'm gonna try to catch it. Oh, okay, so apparently, if you uh, if you watched my third video, my episode 3 of the Let's Play, you saw that I was fighting Scythers, and I think a couple times it looked like I knocked out the Scyther, and it still attacked after that. So what AGC is telling me is that it's actually a prominent error, um, that some Pokemon will attack, that can attack rather, after they die. So, alrighty. If you see on the top, this will go through maintenance, and then we'll be back. I'll be back in the game. 4 minutes till the server goes down for about half a minute. Maintenance is only 30 seconds, and then it's back up. This game, one of its biggest pluses is that it's always online. Um, it doesn't have those 2 to 3 hour maintenances where you you have to like take a break from your grinding, and some people they don't like that. Some people just want to grind for like 20 hours in any given session. So if you love to grind, this is the game for you. I have a cool Garchomp, level 82. It's impish, so it's a pretty decent nature. I really want a jolly one though, and it knows these moves. And then I have Lapras. Garchomp. So Gibble is an elite rare. I actually bought the Gibble for 2.4 million Poké Dollars because I'm so awesome. And then the Lapras, I got it in a trade. I traded some good stuff for him, and he he's an ultra rare uh in the water, so that makes him pretty difficult to encounter. I have my level 100 Breloom set up for catching Pokemon. But no Spore and False Swipe. Oh, this person's asking me about they're selling a Pokemon. They're asking me if I've seen its stats online. They posted them online. Um, I'll check in a few. What? Okay. $50. He wants to be in my next Let's Play, and he's already in it, unbeknownst to him until now. Um, I'm in Route 5, looking for Growlithe. Yeah, this is my 5th episode. And maintenance. Alright, I'm just gonna pause and start recording after maintenance. Alright, we're back from maintenance. I just checked out the Pokemon that this person was trying to sell me, and I do not like it one bit. The IVs aren't as I hoped they were. So I'm going to... I'm actually going to send her a PM. And yes, it's a her. There are many females that play this game because Pokemon is so awesome. Okay, she's not online yet. By the way, I'm using Cam Studio to record all of this. I'm not sure about other recording software, but it does eat quite a bit of memory as it's recording. So you would have to convert the video into a smaller file size.
Okay, son, I need you talking to yourself.
So what happens when you're recording with Cam Studio is that I usually get like 2 to 5 gigabyte files after I want to say after anywhere between a half hour and an hour. So you definitely need some kind of video converter. I suggest using even something as simple as Windows Movie Maker gets the job done when you convert to 480p. You can also use I use another program as well. I use WM Converter. It's a free file converter, like, because sometimes Cam Studio, what happens is Cam Studio it messes up while converting a very large recording, but it will have automatically saved the video portion and the audio portion separately of the recording. So what you can do is you can then take the you can then take the video portion, which is saved in a WAV file, convert it to AVI with the WM converter, and then convert, then take that video, put it in Windows Movie Maker, and then just add the audio file that was saved separately and add it into the movie project, and then you just save the whole movie as a new one. So that's what I did for episode 4. Episode 4 is pretty lengthy. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna cut some of it out because I spent quite a bit of time grinding for Poké Dollars. But if I don't, and this video is like almost a half hour long, feel free to just skip to the relevant parts. And unlike the other videos that I've made so far, um, I don't mind if this process right now seems very boring and mundane. Um, it's something it's something where I'm just trying to record just everything I'm doing, and also when you're playing the game, you don't really think in those terms. You're just too focused and excited on the stuff that is going on and that you're doing. Okay, so I'm hunting for Growlithe, like I already mentioned. I think Growlithe is a quite rare, and I think his encounter rate is somewhere along the lines of one in 10,000 maybe. Um, I don't have concrete numbers as a player because the developer and staff don't release that kind of information. But I suspect those are my odds that I'm working with right now. I already encountered and captured one Growlithe, but it was a bold nature, and that's kind of like the opposite of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a plus attack nature, adamant, lonely, or naughty. I don't want brave. I need as much speed as possible, as much as the as much as I can get from a plus attack nature. I believe Growlithe has Arcanine. Arcanine has base, I want to say 95 speed from what I remember. So that's 289 speed max when we have our plus attack nature Arcanine, and then 350 attack max because our Arcanine has 110 base attack. And I plan on using the Arcanine for an upcoming tournament that the that's being held within the PDOD community for some prizes. The prizes are all elite rare. Actually, there's 2 elite rare Pokemon and 1 uncatchable to be distributed among the top 3 finishers of the tournament. There's Aerodactyl, the uncatchable. Then there's Dratini and Happiny, which are both elite rare. Dratini, my top prizes would definitely be between Aerodactyl and Dratini. I really want to I would really want to get Dratini just because it's an elite rare that you can only catch by fishing or surfing. So that makes it harder to encounter than elite rares found in the wild grass. So that's why I would go for Dratini. I mean, Aerodactyl is also a really good choice, just because it's uncatchable. I think I've only seen maybe 2 so far in the game. And with with no held items or abilities, Aerodactyl is actually Aerodactyl's. I want to say Aerodactyl has a buff in this game, somewhat of a buff because he Aerodactyl doesn't have to worry about being outsped by Choice Scarf or um, or just being, outdone by an ability like Intimidate. I feel like the metagame for the PvP community and PDOD is basically like a triangle. Uh, the bulkier Pokemon, because of the lack of access to abilities and items, the bulkier Pokemon win over the sweepers. But the Pokemon that have sleep abilities, sleep attacks like Breloom with Spore, for example, those overcome the bulky Pokemon. And then, of course, the sweepers overcome the sleepers, let's just say. So we have sweepers, we have tanks, and then we have sleepers. Sweepers beat sleepers, sleepers beat tanks, and tanks beat sweepers. I think that's where the metagame is right now in terms of it. You can almost just identify it that way, and every Pokemon fits into one of those three categories. For my team that I'm going to run for the tournament, um, it's a level 50 3v3, and we're allowed six Pokemon in our party during the tournament. So I'll be switching from those six. I'll give an example of three Pokemon I'd use in a given battle. If I called Arcanine, I would definitely run Arcanine as a sweeper. Um, because in this game, he has access to all the punches. So I would definitely run Fire Punch. He doesn't get Flare Blitz. That's a Gen 4 move, and there are no Gen 4 moves in this game. Fire Punch is his best bet for a physical fire move. Unless he gets Blaze Kick, but I think that's 90 accuracy, 85 attack, and that's something that I might not want to leave to chance. There's something like magical about Pokemon that 95 and 90 accuracy moves miss a lot more than they should. So I'm probably gonna stick to Fire Punch and then Thunder Punch. Uh, then I'm probably gonna have Extreme Speed and a fourth move that I haven't decided on yet. It might be Crunch, just because I can one shot Pokemon like Alakazam, Gengar. Gengar especially is a very deadly Pokemon in this tournament. This tournament is a Generation 1 tournament only. So that's the first 151 Pokemon. And Gengar with Hypnosis is a pretty potent force to be reckoned with. Gengar is both a sweeper and a sleeper. So you have to shut down Gengar. I think the best counter to Gengar is Snorlax. Snorlax is the number one counter to Gengar for this tournament because Snorlax not only is immune to Gengar's only stab move, Shadow Ball. Oh, actually, Gengar can use Sludge Bomb too. But Snorlax has such high special defense and HP that resiliency is something that Gengar can't can't even um, deal with. Especially if you run Rest on Snorlax. I don't think a lot of people are going to. First of all, I think there are going to be a lot of Snorlax in this tournament. Um, it's it's in the top tier of Pokemon, and it is such a beast in this game. Like I said, it's a tank, and tanks benefit a lot from the absence of abilities and held items. When you take away items like uh, choice band, uh, when you take away items like toxic orb, when you take away those kind of sweeper items, you're left with a buffed up roster of tanks, and Snorlax is just one of them. So Snorlax counters Gengar. Basically, you switch into Snorlax, he'll eat a couple special attacks, probably bring him down to about half health, and then he'll retaliate with Crunch, and it'll one hit Gengar, it'll one hit Alakazam. Um, I did the math on the Pokemon damage calculator. Basically anything over, I want to say anything with 100 base attack or more. No, not even. Because Crobat's Crunch can also one-shot Alakazam, and that's 90 base attack. I did the math with neutral attack versus a beneficial attack nature. So 90 base attack or higher is what you're looking for to one-shot Alakazam, and Gengar. So I'm gonna run Crunch on Arcanine. That's definitely something I'd run. Then Extreme Speed, Fire Punch, and Thunder Punch. I think that's gonna be my setup. Thunder Punch and Ice Punch are gonna be major players in this tournament, simply because you want to prevent Pokemon like Gyarados and Dragonite from setting up. And if every Pokemon in your team has something like that, uh, it'll make it harder for the opponent to set up Dragon Dance on you for this Generation 1 tournament. There's Dratini's such a rare Pokemon. Um, in the whole game, there's only a handful of Dratini, and I think a couple of those belong to players that are not going to be entering the tournament, and some other ones I believe are higher than level 50. So really, there should be no Dragonites in the tournament. Um, but you will see a lot of Gyarados in the tournament. I'm going to record the tournament, so that's what I mean when I say you'll see. I'm gonna record the tournament. You're gonna see a lot. You're gonna see quite a bit of Gyarados and Snorlax. That's gonna be pretty standard. Um, what else? Charizard. Charizard is another potent force in the tournament. Also, because he gets access to Dragon Dance. So again, it's harder to sweep in this game with the typical with the speedy sweepers, um, which means that Pokemon like Charizard, Gyarados, and Dragonite they have a easier time just setting up. Although I will say that they don't have access to the berries that reduce their weaknesses. So Gyarados doesn't have I believe it's Wankenberry. I don't remember. It's been a while since I played Gen 4 Pokemon. I used to play Shoddy Battle. That was really fun. So he doesn't have access to that, nor does Gyarados. Not Gyarados. Dragonite have access to that ice resistant berry. I don't remember what it is, but you get the idea. Charizard can set up Dragon Dance. Um, I think the ideal nature you want for Charizard is something like Naughty or Lonely. I'm actually gonna say Naughty is ideal, the perfect nature. It doesn't reduce from his defense, um, just in case a Pokemon hits it with a non-stab rock type attack, and it increases attack enough where he'll have close to 300 attack at level 100, or 150 in this case at level 50. And with one Dragon Dance set up, it can get the job done. So, so we talked about Snorlax, Gyarados, and Charizard for the Gen 1 tournament. Gengar and Alakazam. I wouldn't say Gengar would be as popular as Alakazam, just because Ghastly is an elite rare, and Abra's more common than Ghastly. But expect both of those to make quite a bit of an appearance in the tournament, and that's why I'm gonna run Snorlax just as the primary counter to that, and then I'm probably gonna have to focus on counters to Snorlax, like Machamp. Machamp is a beast in this game. Access to all the punch moves as well as Mach Punch, where it makes him a little bit of a revenge killer, even though he has pretty low speed. Just because he can revenge kill on quite a few Pokemon. So I really want to have a Starmie, but that's not gonna happen. I'm looking for a plus speed Staryu, and Staryu is a fishing super rare. So probably not gonna get it in before this tournament. But Starmie would be an excellent counter to Pokemon like Machamp, as well as Starmie having such a diverse move pool uh, to to deal with a good lead Pokemon. I think Starmie is a pretty decent anti-lead. You just throw Starmie out there and hope that your opponent doesn't throw out Snorlax first. If your opponent throws out Snorlax against your Starmie, um, your opponent is gets a lot of free damage. So be careful for that. So this player that's PMing me, he's offering his his epic Flygon, epic IVs for my Adamant Kabutops, which also has pretty good IVs, and my Adamant Kabutops um, knows Waterfall, so that adds 400k to its value because the HM Waterfall costs 400k in this game. I'm going to ask him what the IVs are. And even if, some of the players see this video and be like, "Oh, now I know this guy's strategy, this is his game." Well, you don't. Like, that's why I'm gonna run 6 Pokemon, and I'm gonna be mindful of those individuals who metagame pretty hard. I mean, I metagame a good amount, I think, in terms of reading into what my opponents are going to do. But you can't prepare for everything. And this tournament is single elimination. Single bracket, yeah, single elimination. So a lot of it's gonna just be based on luck, really. I I would. That's why in the PDOD community, I'm really trying to vie for double elimination brackets, best 2 out of 3, so that you kind of mitigate the luck that factors into Pokemon inherently. You just mitigate that, and you also get to fight more trainers. Gives you a better idea if you really deserve to, stand at the top of the tournament bracket versus, if let's just say you weren't really that good, but you had such a sloppy bracket, such a such an easy bracket to go through. So, I mean, there's a lot of arguments for a double bracket, 2 out of 3, versus the single elimination um, sudden death match that this tournament is going to be held with. I'd really like to just find a Growlithe, even if it's not a plus attack nature. I would maybe settle for a plus speed like, Jolly, something to that effect. Charizard's a bit different. I value Charizard special attack more, only because Charizard doesn't really have much of an attack stat to fall on. Charizard really needs to set up Dragon Dance before he starts using his physical moves. So I would run like something like a naughty Charizard or something, so that I can still have it use Overheat. If I can run Overheat on that Charizard and make it a mixed sweeper, um, I can deal with switch-ins so long as none of those switch-ins can tank a hit and revenge with Rock Slide or something, or Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is a TM in this game, even though it's only 50 power. You give it to a Pokemon with 394, or rather 199 attack at level 50, and that's it. Your Charizard is done for. But that's only if I were to run Charizard. I mean, Charizard does have the added bonus of evading ground moves. It prevents a ground type from sweeping just by its stab, Earthquake. I don't think that'll be a problem in this Generation 1 tournament, but overall in regular PvP, Gliscor is a pretty huge threat because Gligar is only quite rare. So Gligar is fairly accessible to a vast number of players. You can expect everyone eventually to just run Gliscor in their team. Gliscor has so much bulkiness and so much bulkiness, uh, a good amount of speed and attack. I'd say a decent amount, more than average, and the threat of setting up with Swords Dance. All of those combined make Gliscor a very versatile pick in any team. You can run Gliscor as a beefy defensive tank who can dodge Earthquake because of the flying type. You can turn Gliscor into a very speedy Swords Dance setup. Um, Although 317 speed uh, is not too demanding in terms of a speed that you couldn't outrun. If you don't have anything that doesn't outrun 317 speed, then you probably need to add something like a Weavile to your team. Weavile can definitely assassinate um, speedy Gliscor. I don't think Weevil can knock out a bulky defensive Gliscor though. So it's just one of those things where the way you build your Pokemon is based on how you metagame against your opponent. if I had the choice, I'd run two different Gliscors. Um, I'd definitely run the bulkier Gliscor on a team where I have more special defensive tanks, and also where I would want to respond to the stallers. Gliscor responds very well to stallers just because of the Swords Dance. Stalling in this game also has been buffed just because sweepers don't have the necessary tools to assassinate um, a deadly target. So Milotic, Umbreon, some of those stallers are just deadly. Um, the only really good counter to those, while not um, deviating too much from a well-rounded team, would be to pick up a good steel or poison type in your team. If you can pick up any of those Pokemon, um, they're immune to toxic, so that's the bread and butter of the stallers right there. Also, um, so you want to pick that up. I think ideally, if you can find a steel type slash poison type that can set up, that's the ultimate counter to a staller. It forces the opponent to react right away, and sometimes you can get in a really good damage or a really good setup, depending on which Pokemon you decide to do that with. I think an Agilagross, a Metagross with agility is just deadly as one of those counters. Um, but there's only like one Metagross in the game that was won uh, from a tournament. Beldum is not a Pokemon you can encounter in this game right now in the wild. I'm hoping it in the future it does become a Pokemon that spawns, even if even if it's like an elite rare. I'd rather have an elite rare Beldum than not have one at all. There was someone who I'm gonna go over to Dissidia and check out this guy's Flygon and see if I like it. I hope he hasn't disclosed the nature, but if it's neutral, I might go for it. I don't think Flygon has access to Dragon Dance. So maybe I'd just use Flygon to switch in to Earthquake. Um, maybe I'd run. See, a Jolly Flygon for sure would be able to outrun any Gliscor and then just Ice Punch it. But if it doesn't outrun a plus speed Gliscor, then it gets Ice Punched the next turn. Trying to figure out what I use Flygon. Flygon would definitely switch in Flygon to an electric attack, of course. Um, but then being a ground type, it gets easily switched into as well. So I'm going to look for this player with the Flygon. Where the hell did he go? Right now I'm at 2 gigabytes in my recording. So that's just way too much. When I convert the video, I can probably slim it down to about 40%. So you're looking at about 800 megabytes. Not so bad. I've probably been going on for about a half hour now. I should make a new account and just and just name it like Johnny Derp. Johnny Derp. And then my team have like a spear on my team and name it Jack Sparrow. Oh, let me tell this guy he's on YouTube. Hot shot. He won second place in a tournament held not too long ago in PDOD. I don't know if you can see the chat, the PM chat, but I'm just letting him know he's on YouTube right now. I can't tell if he's thrilled or he's got that like what you talking about face. But I'm gonna go back into Route 5 and I'm gonna keep grinding for this Growlithe. I really like Arcanine not only because of its deceptively large move pool with the access to the punch moves, but it just has such high resiliency for a Pokemon that learns extreme speed and for a Pokemon that is a fire type. Most fire types in this game have pretty low resiliency. They get OKO'd by um, a lot of Pokemon that can use Earthquake. I think Arcanine, an Arcanine with decent IVs can live from a non-stab Earthquake from a Pokemon with base 120 attack. Uh, I think that has happened. I've used Earthquake with a heavy hitter and it survived. And I think that Arcanine was EV trained in speed and attack. So, and just looking up the base stats too. Arcanine has such base stats, such high base stats for its class, I want to say. I'm gonna go back to Dissidia and see who else is in it that would like to be in the video. Okay, oh, here we go. Here we go. This is AGC, the legendary Cacman. I'm gonna withdraw my shiny Golbat from my PC and I will do the cactus dance with him. So I'm gonna deposit my pincer that I caught and I'm gonna locate my shiny Golbat. There we go. Shiny Golbat located. And we're just gonna just sit still and admire the presence of two shiny Golbats. This is what should be in Let's Play videos. All of this that I'm capturing, this is what this game's about, really. Um, I'm gonna oh, if he shows me a level 100 Golbat, that'd be pretty funny. Ah, what a shame. Ah, that that hurts. Yeah. So I want to train. I want to have a Crobat level 50 and just leave it like that. Just you know, just for PvP, some little fun. But looking. All right, he's gonna help me look for my Growlithe. What a man. What a cactus. He so AGC. He is the events coordinator. He he helped host the only tournament so far that I've won. Um, and he's actually hosting the Gen 1 tournament that I'm training for. Now we gonna hunt some Growlithe. We're probably gonna just do this for a little while. If you hear a dog barking, don't mind that. I think that's my dog. Yeah. He wants to be in the video too, but I can't. It's hard to kind of have him doing co-commentary. A lot of his input would probably be misunderstood. Uh-oh. I he's in oh. Hmm. Alrighty, so I'm gonna cut this recording now. I actually have to get off right now, but I will do more videos. Until then, this is Master Joe, aka OlafKetchum, signing out.